What's going on, Shady people? ShadyPenguinn here with a special video. I know this is going up early. I'm putting up as soon as I can because I hit King of Games last night. And today what I want to do is I want to go over the deck that I used to hit King of Games on the very last day. I hit it at 3 a.m. I'm a terrible human being, but it's the very last day, and I want to get this video as soon as possible so some of you guys can have a better chance at maybe if you're in Legend 3 trying to use this deck and pushing forward, or trying to counter this deck depending on if it becomes super common, which I don't know if it will. All I know is that it worked extremely well for me. We're also going to be showing some replays, and I'll probably do one duel. I don't know. I haven't done any King of Games duels yet. I'll show you guys really quick. The quote-unquote proof King of Games right there. Bam! Win, 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 win. And there was my loss. And before that, win, win, then loss. But yeah, it was tough for sure. My last run was definitely my easiest run, 100%. I got to promos 5 times last night, I think, or 4 times last night. Each time I got to the promo game, it was just, the deck was just, the first time was a Gravekeeper deck, which completely counters this deck. I'm gonna show you guys the deck so you guys can take it down and see what I'm working with. No, that's not the deck. And no, it's not with Crowler. I feel like I just slow played everyone watching this video. I feel like all of you guys saw the thumbnail and were like, what? What? Why is Crowler here? But no, this is the deck right here that I'm running. Now you guys can play with the list. How I came up with this list, it's really crazy because I'm not, you guys know, I'm an average Yu-Gi-Oh player, average Duel Links player. I'm really not that great, but I have been playing King of Games. If we go back to my PvP, which we will in a little bit, you'll see I have almost 300 wins, which means I have probably almost over 600 duels, I would think, with my caliber of skill. But I was trying so many different things. I tried Red Eyes, tried Zombies, tried Mako, tried Ancient Gears for 2 duels, I tried everything. I tried Worm and everything. Nothing was working for me. Nothing was working out. And I just got sick and tired of it. Then I started building decks that focused around Sergeant Electro. Because Sergeant Electro, just being able to shut off back row is so strong with Wall of Disruption being there. And even with everything else, with Econ, Mirror Walls, everything. Rare Metal Morphs for the Ancient Gears. Being able to just shut it off, or at the very least, force them to use it is super strong in this deck, especially with equips like Rare Metal Morph, and I'll tell you why. You guys can probably already see it though. But I'm gonna go over the card choices. I'm gonna go over as many matchups as I can. I'm gonna show you guys some replays, and then I think we'll have time for a duel in this video. Maybe not though, but okay, so here's, like I said, that was the basis of my building was. Okay, I wanted to do Sergeant Electro. I also wanted to include 3 Floodgate Trap Holes, because I hate, this card is just so good. It's so good against so many matchups. It's good against Cybers. It's not perfect, but it's really good against Cyber Angels if you open up strong. It's incredible against Red Eyes. It's incredible against just everything that wants to be offensive. It's incredible against Marek right back at you. Being able to put that sky, that thing that stabs you and runs away and then comes back. Being able to floodgate that is super, super good. It's an incredibly underrated card. Let me select this character. I think it's gonna close out my deck now. It feels bad, man. But yes, I was using Pegasus, and this is controlling King of Games because you're using Mind Scan. Mind Scan lets you see cards that are face down all the way up until you're underneath 3,000 life points. Now, this is really, really strong for so many reasons. You can see what card Sergeant Electro needs to target first. This deck feels so intricate when you're making your decisions. It's so baity. Like, I was able to bait my opponents into so many moves just by targeting certain cards. Like, I would target a Rare Metal Morph so that they would use it, and then I'd just pop the monster with a Medusa Worm anyway. Like, it's so good. There's so many little cute plays. With that regard, being able to see what they're setting on turn 1 when you go second, you can tell if, in case they don't use a Red Eye Stone, if they just set 2 monsters or whatever, you can see what deck they're running for the most part by turn 1 when you get to see their set, spell, and trap. This deck, before I forget, it does struggle a little bit against Phoenix. The best way to beat Phoenix is if you floodgate it, and then eventually work on your Silent Magicians, which I know that's like, this is my pride and joy right here. The fact that this is in my King of Games deck is my pride and joy. I love Silent Magician so much, and I'll give you I'm getting emotional. The reason why I used this card, because this deck, as you guys can tell, it's a very defensive deck. It's only running 1 Sphere Karibo, which you can make room for 2 instead. I ran the 1 Man-Eater Bug because it's another destroy effect, and not only that, it's to counter Weevil. It's just so I can search this out instead of getting parasited right away on 1 Jade and Sick Whistle. So I really like teching 1 Man-Eater Bug in almost every deck when I'm running the ladder now. It's just because it's a great card anyway. and it says, hey, no. And yes, 21 card deck meme. I will show you the replays. I didn't do the last video, unfortunately, because it was 3 a.m. and I was excited and I just clicked it. It was a bad time, but it's okay. I have some really good replays of me winning and losing from my runs. But yeah, Man-Eater Bug, I really love it. Sphere Karibo is here. It's obvious. You can run 2 if you don't like the Silent Magician and you just want to run full control. You can take out the Silent Magician and run 2 Sphere Karibo and 3 Guardian Statue. That's fine. But for me, like I said, Silent Magician was my pride and joy, and it won me so many games. It won me so many games because this deck is defensive and it stalls out. Obviously, it has 2 Faint Plans, so that doesn't help. But having the Floodgates, having the Econs, having the Windstorm, having the Sphere Karibo allows this that sometimes when you would normally, like, I don't know, brick or in situations where you need a really strong monster. Sometimes you just need a strong monster. And I don't want to tribute off my Medusa Worm or my Guardian Statues. I probably would never do that. And I never want to tribute because no one floodgates this. No one floodgates this. I had one person floodgate my second Silent Magician, and that's it throughout all my runs. Because why are you going to floodgate this? You want to floodgate the Silent Magician level 8. But joke's on you, there's no Silent Magician level 8. You just let this thing keep building and building. If you're going first and you play this, you have a 2000 beater on their second turn. That's huge. That's huge right now. 100%, especially when you have defensive cards to say, oh, yeah, just kidding. He's gonna be 2500 the following turn. And by the way, I popped your 2000 in with my Medusa Worm. So if you guys don't know what Medusa Worm does, once per turn, you can flip this card into face down defense position. When this card is flipped, someone destroy one monster on your opponent's side of the field. So you can just, it's so cute. You do whoop, whoop. He like pops up and eats the monster and then goes right back down. I love it. It's just like the imagery is beautiful. But this card is super good. It's an infinite Man-Eater Bug if you can protect it. So you protect it with Faint Plans, you protect it with Econ, you protect it with Floodgate. And then you just constantly are building more and more card presence. And that's the biggest reason why I think this card is necessary, because there are no big beaters in this deck. Your opponent can, even if you're just constantly making them go minus and you're going plus, I mean, you're going plus with 500 attack and then you have your Guardian Statue attack. And don't get me wrong, as soon as I have my opponent's board clear, if I see their traps and there's nothing threatening, if there's like, it doesn't matter, if there's the Wall of Disruption, I'll activate it on my Medusa Worm, please. I start attacking. If I have the defensive mechanisms to guard myself, and I'll keep my Worm in face attack position if I don't have a Faint Plan. I don't care, unless I'm going against like Ice Barrier, OTK, or anything that floods the field, like zombies, and if I don't have a Floodgate to stop that Mizuki from triggering its effect. But yeah, so that's very, very important. I run the Guardian Statue as well. It's basically the same thing as Medusa, except instead of destroying a monster, it returns it to its owner's hand. Now this is very good against Cyber Angels because Cyber Angels can constantly protect themselves from getting destroyed. If you Floodgate a Dakini and then you return it, they didn't get any recycle back from their face-up Dakini, and now you don't have to worry about them protecting it. Actually, if it's face down, I'm sorry, you can actually destroy it with Medusa Worm. They cannot protect it. I'm pretty sure the monster has to be face up in order to protect it. With Machine Ritual. So scratch that, but I did have a lot of success with Guardian Statue in a lot of different areas. When Weevil Burn would play a face down oh my gosh, Big Shield Gardna, I just want to send that right back up. When they tribute summon in Ancient Gears, send that right back up. Like there's options that sending is definitely optimal over destroying, and you have to make those decisions when you're playing this deck. Everything else explanatory, I feel like. The 3 Econs. Save your Econs as best you can. Usually on turn 1, I'll go over it if I do a duel, but usually on turn 1, the best things to use is if you can open a Floodgate in Medusa and Sergeant Electro, that's your dream hand. You pretty much win. You pretty much win. There are some really hard counters to this deck, and I'm gonna tell you guys about them later on in the video, mainly because I want you guys to know about them. I feel like this deck could be pretty common in KC Cup. I'm sorry if it is, because it is super frustrating to deal with, but it's so much fun to play because there's so many decisions you have to make. I love it. I'm sure there's a better version of this deck that's out there, one that doesn't have 21 cards meme and hard. But yeah, this is it. This was my King of Games deck, and it took me so long to get there, honestly, and I'm so happy that I came up with this list and that it's just awesome. I actually joined Guns and DK's Discords, and I was asking for help in Guns' server, and I got a few lists. I tried plants, but I didn't have all the cards. I tried a bunch of different things, but this is what I ended up coming up with. And they'll vouch for me. I also wasn't in the chat at 3 a.m. when I was doing this. I didn't ask for help with this build. No one sent me a control deck. Someone said they wanted to send me a Hazy Flame Phoenix control deck, but I wanted to go with something that I built, and for like the first time in a long time going for King of Games, because I've only done it twice. I haven't gone for it because I've been out of dueling for the past few months, but going for it this time and actually getting it the first time going for it in time for the Case Cup is really, really cool. That's the deck list. I want to show you guys some replays so you guys can see what I did during the game and how I lost. I definitely want to show you guys my losses, but yeah, I want to show you guys my wins. 286 wins, which means I've had over 600 duels because I'm losing more than I'm winning. No way. Duel replays. Okay, so what do I have? Maximilian, Aster, Yami, Bandit. No! Oh wait, I have one against Weevil. Okay, I think I want to show this one off first. I want to show this one off because it was just unbelievable. I don't think this was my promo. I don't think it was a promo. I think it was my third win. So it was after 3 wins, yes, and I versed Rico twice. This was my 4th game. So one before promos for King of Games. I go up against this Weevil. And this is one of the times where no matter how good your deck is, the heart of the cards can just be stronger. Even if you're running, look, I'm going for Mind Scan. We're gonna open up Floodgate. We don't open up with a Medusa Worm or a Guardian Statue, but I'm not too upset because it is Weevil. It is Weevil, so I'm not that upset about not having the destroying ability of monsters because normally they run the Sky Story that runs away. So there's the Jade Insect Whistle right away. Jade Insect Whistle right away, and I go ahead and put my Man-Eater Bug on top. So I avoid the 1000 right in the beginning. Beautiful. Goes for a Goblin Thief, so he's running pure Weevil Burn. Pure Weevil Burn. Sets a Floodgate trap hole and ends his turn. We can see that because of Mind Scan. So we see the Floodgate. At this point, I'm like, you know what? Floodgate me. Floodgate me. So this was the player that actually floodgated my Silent Magician. So with that, I set my own Floodgate. I set Nikon and I end my turn. Part of me did want to set Man-Eater Bug, but like I said, a lot of monsters on their side of the field don't like stay. Gets the second Jade Insect Whistle to get the Parasite out. Let's talk about that. And goes ahead and sets a Big Shield Gardener. So I was like, oh, this is fine. Big Shield Gardener, I can win this. I know I can win this. He's down to 0 cards. I can just set Man-Eater Bug. Next turn, pop the Big Shield Gardener. That's my dream, that's my goal. The only card he can draw right now. The only card he can draw, there's one card. Guess the card. Think about it. What card screws me over? Lava Golem. Lava Golem. But you know what? I stay in high spirits. I say, you know what? I got Lava Golem on my side of the field. I have to win in 2 turns. We know this is a Big Shield Gardener. We know that I can crash over this Big Shield Gardener. So all I need to do is summon everything I can, kill this Big Shield Gardener and do as much damage as possible because next turn, if he doesn't have a monster, we win. We absolutely win. So what are we avoiding here? We're trying to avoid a big monster, which is not that hard in that deck. I mean, avoid a second Big Shield Gardener. We're trying to avoid a second Lava Golem, I guess. I'm trying to avoid any 500 burn. Those are the 3 things that are on my mind. That I need to avoid because if he can burst me for 500, Lava Golem just goes ahead and does his thing. Ends his turn! The Dream! Didn't draw any of his outs! Or at least that's what I thought, because when I tackle Lava Golem, he drops a Sphere Karimo! He probably runs 1! So I lost that one. I wanted to show you guys that because it emotionally scarred me and I'm never gonna forget this duel. And then he plays the Goblin Thief for the BM anyway, so you know what? I think just that timely Lava Golem is what won him that duel. If he didn't have Lava Golem right there, I mean, I would have, if he had Goblin Thief or Sphere Karimo, it would not have mattered. It was that perfect draw. So I'm gonna delete that now because we showed it, it's good, it's gone. What are duel replays? Whoa, oh, wait, what? I don't know what those are. Okay, now we have, I wanna see which ones, I wanna know if I have a really good one. Yami Bakura, this is right back at you. I think this Bandit Keith one was a really good Cyber Angel matchup. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I think this was a really good Cyber Angel matchup where it was not a clear-cut game in either direction. Who was it? I can't read your name. I'm sorry, Golf Club Biggie. I love you very much. So I'm going first this time around against Bandit Keith. We both have 21 card decks. Double Floodgate is so good. So good seeing that. I will never get mad you show me double Floodgate unless my opponent plays Zing Hu, then I cry. The Mind Scan lets us know, hey, don't do that. We're gonna see that he sets a Kidmodo Dragon and he has Ultimate Providence. This card is so good. A lot of people are playing Ultimate Providence now. When a spell, trap card, or monster effect is activated, discard the same type of card, negate the activation due to destroy the card. Really good against Cyber Angels. Really good against Cyber Angels. So a lot of people are playing 3 of it now. Really good in the Dragon deck because you can ditch the Kidmodo, activate Kidmodo's effect from ditching him, and then stop the Dakini. So it's so good. It's so good. So I end up just setting my second Guardian statue, flipping my Guardian statue to go ahead and force him to activate Ultimate Providence. I didn't think that he would have a second Kidmodo in hand. I figured, okay, he put his Kidmodo there. He's not gonna have a second Kidmodo, and even if he does, what is he gonna special summon? It's not gonna be anything crazy. But it's a Tyrant Dragon. Now, Tyrant Dragon says, negate any trap effects to target this card. However, that's once its summon is successful. So, this is when your opponent summons a monster. You can activate Floodgate on the summon of Tyrant. I wasn't actually sure about that when I did it, and I was so happy that it worked. So now we have a set Tyrant and we have a Kidmodo right there. So what can he do here? He flip summons his Kidmodo, goes for the Stomping Ground, and gets rid of my Floodgate, which really sucks, because had I just Floodgated that, I would have 500 life points more, but I'm fine with it. So you guys see, played all of his cards. All of his cards are played out. He had to tribute the Tyrant Dragon and the Kidmodo for the blue eyes, attacks my Guardian statue. So I need here any defensive card. Windstorm, Faint Plan, Econ, Sphere Kuriboh. I have a lot of outs. I draw Sergeant Electro. Because Medusa Worm will just win. Now I need him to not draw a monster. He doesn't, so we get a little lucky there. We both have pretty crappy draws, I guess. I go ahead and I draw again. I just need defensive card. I draw Man-Eater Bug. Man-Eater Bug is, I'll take it. I'll take it more than using an Econ or anything like that. So he goes and sets another Ultimate Providence, and I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. But he just said it, so he can't stop my Man-Eater Bug. Get that out of here. And as long as we don't see a Birthright, we should be in good shape. We go ahead and we just summon our Silent Magician. This is when I'm like, all right, I just gotta start putting the hurt on. I know this deck runs a lot of Kidmodo, runs a lot of big beaters. I don't see him having what he needs on the, I mean, if he draws a monster and gets rid of this, what is he gonna draw? Vanguard? He draws Exploder Dragon and he does get rid of my Silent Magician, but I'm glad I got that 3,000 off. The 3,000 is very important because he has blue eyes in this deck. If I can ever Econ and swing with blue eyes, I win. I set my Medusa because now I have a Sphere Kuriboh in hand. This will be a nice defensive play for me. I could have actually right there, and I probably should have just attacked. I should have just attacked. I flip Medusa Worm, obviously there's no target, and then now I'm going for the attack. Now that I have double protection, I don't know what that is in my mind, but I figured, hey, let me just wait a turn so I have double protection. He sees the Medusa Worm, he's getting nervous. He sets a Mirror Wall and a Super Rush along with a Totem, summoning a Totem face up. So baiting me, even though he knows I could see the Super Rush, so I'm confused at that. I'm gonna go ahead and just destroy this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and summon another Medusa Worm. So I could be 500 life points ahead right now had I just attacked. And I could have forced the Mirror Wall probably earlier, because he'd only be at 1,000. He's gonna go ahead and activate Totem Dragon to summon him to the field. Remember, we have Enemy Controller and we have Sphere Kuriboh in hand. So he's gonna tribute that Totem Dragon, offer a Tyrant Dragon. I'm gonna go ahead and Sphere Kuriboh here, I believe. Yes, because that would be the right play. You wanna save your Econs as long as you can, especially when a big boy like that's on the field. We top deck the Sergeant Electro, which, I mean, granted, we had 3 out of 10. We had a 30% chance to draw a Sergeant Electro there. It's just a Scald Burn, it's not that big of a deal. We actually destroy the Tyrant Dragon. And I'm gonna go ahead and summon Sergeant Electro. Now, what you could have done is you could have summoned Sergeant Electro and targeted the Super Rush. That way he would activate the Mirror Wall in the battle phase. You attack, you tribute, or you Econ tribute, take the Tyrant, enter the battle phase, attack for game. Because you'd win no matter what. But I went the long route, I did go the long route. Wasn't the right route, but he ended up scooping next turn anyway, so. That was a really good match. It was a really good dragon match, I feel like. That was versus Bandit Keith, so let's delete that. Let me see, what else do we have here? We have the Aster Phoenix, which I wanna see what this is. I wanna see what deck this is. So the Bandit Keith was not Cyber Angels. The problem was that I was playing so many duels last night that I just kept saving replays and saving replays and saving replays, so I may have saved over some really clutch ones, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So we have Aster Phoenix, which I don't think I've ever seen on the ladder before. I'm going second. Which this deck prefers, I don't know, there's pros and cons. When you have Mind Scan, going second isn't that bad because you get to see what they set right out the gate without risking anything, especially against a Zing Zang Hu. But going first is really good for this deck because setting the Medusa Worm. But all he does is set a Spell Shield type 8. Activate one of these effects. When a spell card is activated, targets exactly one monster on the field, negate the activation and you destroy it. When a spell card is activated, send. So it's basically a better, not better, but it's like it's a Magic Green, but you have to discard a spell, and it gets a bonus effect, where you just freely negates it and the target's a monster. Which is pretty cool. So I just summoned my Guardian statue. I have so much defense with Windstorm, with Enemy Controller and Sphere Kuriboh that I don't care. But he does in fact go for the Senju and grabs the Edatin. So Edatin has been grabbed. I'm feeling sad. Goes ahead and plays the Machine Angel Ritual. Tributes Beton for Edatin. And I don't know what I do here. I don't remember. This duel's a little foggy. Of course, Ben 10 is gonna allow him to grab stuff from his deck. Grabs a Dakini, so as soon as I see Dakini, I say, okay, so you're probably gonna go ahead and Ritual Summon again, which means Guardian Statue is not going to survive. Which stinks, because Guardian Statue against this deck would have been, there right here, like if I had Floodgate, it would have been perfect. But we're gonna see Dakini activates, and so does Itaten. So I believe that this Dakini goes up to 3,700, Statue goes down, he goes to attack me, and I should Sphere Kariba here. I do Sphere Kariba here. And now like my only goal, the only way I can possibly win is if I draw another Guardian Statue, it would really help me. Instead, I just summon a Medusa Worm. Oh, that's what I do. That's right. I totally forgot. I banked on him not having a spell card. When a spell card is activated, it targets exactly one monster in the field. Why couldn't he spell shield 8-bat? I'm very confused why he couldn't do that. I must have been thinking, I mean, maybe because it doesn't target exactly one card, I tribute my own monster first. I don't know. I don't know, but that's how I won. I just stole it and won, and it was great. And that's why Econ is so powerful against Cyber Angels. Let's go to the Seto Kaiba one. Let's go to the Seto Kaiba one. Happy Halloween, by the way. We will be streaming some Duel Links for a couple hours in the afternoon over on Twitch. So if you're watching this, unfortunately, I don't have any duels against Ancient Gears, but this deck just destroys Ancient Gears. It's not even a question. If you open up with any defensive card and any Medusa Worm, you're winning the duel, basically. It's almost impossible to lose. Some Ancient Gears started attacking some Sergeant Electro, which I think is a smart move, but it still didn't matter. So you open up Medusa Worm and a Faint Plan. That always feels good. Kaiba's gonna go ahead as I set to. Gonna play the Red Eyes. So this is against the Red Eyes deck, a super meta deck. Super meta deck, Red Eyes beat down, I believe. Set a card face down, sets both the Red Eyes Spirit, sets Econ and double Red Eyes Spirit. So at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna be defensive. I'm gonna set a Man-Eater Bug instead of my Medusa's Worm, just in case we make decisions. So now I draw the Sergeant Electro. On my summon, he triggers Red Eyes Spirit before I even target anything. Which kind of stinks because well, it doesn't stink, it's actually perfect. Because I was able to go ahead and use Sergeant Electro, target that Vigilance, use Medusa Worm to pop this Red Eyes, which forces him to use his Econ. And this is the big thing with this deck. So when you're using Sergeant Electro or Medusa Worm, either way you're going Plutz, because you're forcing them to use cards, and you're not losing any cards. No cards are going to your graveyard. When I target something with Sergeant Electro, it doesn't force him. Now, if I was him, I would have stolen the Medusa Worm. Steal the Medusa Worm when it's face up, guys, because not being able to set it again really sucks if I don't have any defensive options, which I only have a Faint Plan. I do have a Sphere Hero here. He goes ahead and goes for the Sergeant Electro. That's fine. I know I'm gonna be able to get rid of this thing next turn. And then I have a Sphere Hero in hand to protect my own Sergeant Electro. We see Wall of Disruption. We know Champion's Vigilance is already tied to my Electro. So here we can go ahead and we can just use Sergeant Electro and force the Red Eye Spirit. Now this is what I'm talking about with baiting. I could have stopped the Wall of Disruption, but I don't care. I can wait another turn to attack and lock down his whole back row. And now I'm gonna target the Red Eye Spirit so that in the main phase, he's forced to use it so that now I can use both my Man-Eater Bug and my Medusa Worm to get rid of both cards on the field, if I want to. Or I can just attack. Well, I don't want to attack, so I'm going to do this. I'm almost positive that I flip Man-Eater Bug right now and get rid of this. Thank you so much for doing that, Past Shady. If you didn't do that, I would have told you to get some bed rest. So now look at this card advantage. 6 cards to his 4, and he scoops, because this deck it's called King of Games controlling King of Games for a reason. I think we're gonna go ahead. I don't know what the Bakura one is right back at you, which is kind of a rogue deck. I'd rather just do one real duel for you guys. Let's just do one real duel, and while we do that, I'm gonna talk about the hard counters to this deck. Gravekeepers completely destroys this deck, because they're face down monsters and they just Oracle and win. That was my first promo. My first promo, I went against my first Gravekeeper deck and it just destroyed me. I was like, well, hope I don't run into any more of those, because this deck just loses to that. This deck does not like Soul Exchange Monarch decks. Soul Exchange is really strong against this deck for sure, especially something like Soul Exchange, Mystic Swordsman. Mystic Swordsman kind of destroys this deck, not really, because you have a Faint Plan, you have Defensive Mechanism. It's really like Soul Exchange, and perfect. We're going up against, all right, now I might have to eat my words. We're going first. Now, if we just open up with a Worm and one defensive card, we're good. Oh, it's not? He doesn't have the spell. Oh, and I unfortunately don't open up with any defensive stuff. At this point, when you don't open up with defensive stuff, you just cry, mostly. I should have known I would brick my first King of Games duel. And at the same time, this is King of Games, so people are probably trying some interesting things. They're probably trying some fun things. Silent Magician is gonna die. Gonna go ahead and play Fire King Island. Okay, so he's playing Phoenix. He's gonna win. If you don't get any defensive cards against Fire King, you lose because they can special summon their 1800 monster. They can special summon their Phoenix. Doesn't matter. Now we can draw a Faint Plan. Okay, he's gonna destroy his Phoenix actually. Huh. Wow, if I had a Sphere Creepo, I could win this game. Because he's gonna summon his 1800 monster. I could go ahead, negate that. And then next turn, his Fire King is gonna destroy all of his cards. And then I would have a 2000 beater. Oh my gosh, that's so unfortunate. Yeah, we just lose. I'm just gonna surrender. There's nothing I can do about that. Like, it just completely bricked it. I'm not gonna waste anyone's time with that kind of duel. No way. No way. It doesn't matter anymore. Hit King of Games. And I'm, like I said, if you brick, it's a card game. Sometimes you will just brick, and it's unfortunate. I don't know why was his name in red? Is it because I lost? Is that an update? I don't remember seeing red names when you lose. That's crazy. That's crazy. This will be the last duel. The first and last duel. So Gravekeepers, anything that can handle face down set monsters without actually like having to attack is really nice. So Barrel Dragon's pretty rough, but that's why you run the Floodgates. Some matchups get rougher if you don't open up with Floodgate, but it was a good run. It was a good run. It got me to Legend 3, and I never fell from Legend 3 once I was there. So we open up with a Faint Plan, Floodgate, and a Guardian Statue. I believe we're going first, so this doesn't look too terrible. And sometimes Guardian Statue is even more preferred than Medusa Worm. Like I was saying, there's certain situations, whether it's a certain time with Cyber Angels, whether it's sometimes you don't even want to destroy a Red Eyes because they have Red Eye Spirit and you don't have your Sergeant Electro. So he has Restart and he didn't activate it. So we're gonna set Floodgate and set a Faint Plan and end our turn. Now, like I said, you want to save your Faint Plans as much as you can for if you're ever behind the 8-ball, but right now we should be able to get ahead of the game depending on what he's running. If he's running Cyber Angels, which he's running, ooh. So part of me does just want to Floodgate this right away. So I Floodgate this, he can't discard Kidmodo and summon the Blue Eyes. If I let him discard Kidmodo and summon the Blue Eyes, I should be able to Floodgate that. So if I send this back to his hand, I'm delaying the problem. If this was Medusa, if this was Medusa Worm, I would go ahead and Floodgate him. I would. He's gonna go ahead and set enemy controller. He sets Champion's Vigilance. Okay, he's gonna go for the battle. So we're gonna activate a Faint Plan.
Simple-minded fool. I flip over my face. Time to make my move. Draw.
So now we have the Sphere Creepo. We have a secondary defense mechanism. We're gonna go ahead and flip Guardian Statue. We are gonna send this back to the hand. This is a really rough spot to be in though. Had I drawn Sergeant Electro, I would win this duel. I would 100% win this duel. We're gonna go for the battle phase. I'm not gonna set this Fate down because I don't have any more Faint Plans and I need to start getting damage in as soon as possible. I mean, Guardian Statue is 5 attacks. What's really cool is, what is it? Is it Sergeant Electro, Guardian Statue, Guardian Statue? No, Sergeant Electro, Guardian Statue is the perfect 4,000. So getting that 800 in first is really nice.
Let's do this.
Now let's see, he summons it again. I don't think there's any world in which he Econ takes. Stamping Destruction. See, that's why you Floodgate. That's why you Floodgate. And now I'm gonna lose my Floodgate. Oh, I did that against someone else too. And didn't I do that in a duel replay we just watched? That's so bad. Okay, he's gonna go for that. Once again, we're gonna save our econ. We're gonna go for a Sphere Creepo. And now we're in straight up top deck mode. I mean, what I really need to draw here is a, honestly, almost any monster is fine. Medusa Worm, Sergeant Electro, another Guardian Statue. I would prefer Medusa Worm, obviously, over another Guardian statue in this situation. We do draw Sergeant Electro, which is really, really cool. We can force. Okay, what's the best way to do this? I don't want him stealing. Do I care if he tributes his Vanguard? When this card you control sent to your graveyard by your opponent's card effect. Okay, so I don't mind. Actually, I like Guardian Statue right now because it gets around Vanguard. So I can pretty much no matter what activate this effect. I'm gonna go back into face down no matter what. Now, by sending this away first, it allows me to guarantee damage here. So I'm gonna go ahead and bounce that first. Because he can econ tribute and take this right now if he wants to. And if he does that, that's fine too. Because then I can actually lock down his vigilance. So we're gonna summon Sergeant Electro.
I summon a monster in attack position.
And then we're going to activate effect. And we're gonna target the econ. Now the only way this gets really bad is if he has a Blue Eyes in hand and he draws his Kid Moto. That would be, that would mean that he wins next turn basically. At least I think, yeah. You know, maybe, yeah. Because he Vanguards, discards Kid Moto and gets 2 cards out, he basically wins. So we'll get another 800 in. Now all we need is this perfect number right here. Both these attacks. So don't draw Kid Moto, don't draw Blue Eyes. And we should be good for game. I guess this video really isn't going up that early. It's already it's almost 11 o'clock. It's a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. Okay, what is he going to play? Now he summons his Vanguard again. If I econ take, it makes his turn dead for sure. What do I do? What do I do? If I econ take, I tribute Sergeant Electro. I don't tribute my Guardian Statue. And I hope that I draw. No, I have to just let him play it out. I have to just let him play it out. Okay, he sets an econ. That's a good sign. Okay, sweet. Okay. So we can live another turn. We can actually win next turn. We win next turn. Awesome. All right, cool. See, like you guys can see against these meta-ish, this wasn't Red Eyes. But like you can work around some pretty strong decks with this control deck, even in a kind of bad situation. I drew defensive cards and I drew the Sergeant Electro, so it really isn't that bad of a situation. But I didn't open up the way that I would have liked to, but it's all good. We have another Sergeant Electro, so we're literally winning. We are literally winning. Activate effects first. Do not change battle position. Do not change battle position until you do this. I think he realizes, oh, he's not gonna lose yet. But that's still the right thing to do, in my opinion. Let's see, we should still be able to win. Because all we have to do is activate effect, stop that vigilance, go to attack position. We deal 800 here. Once again, this perfect number gets me riled. Perfect number gets me riled. So that's the deck. I hope I did an okay job explaining it. Pros and cons, like I said, Soul Exchange is really good against this deck, which a lot of people aren't running right now. But making some sort of Treeborn Econ Soul Exchange deck is probably really cute and might work out in some scenarios. And it's really, honestly, playing like a defensive Soul Exchange deck with Floodgates and Soul Exchange would probably destroy Cyber Angels. This deck really does super well against Ancient Gears. I wish I could have shown that off, but maybe I'll show it off on the stream later today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to show some shady love to that thumbs down below. I don't really ask on YuGiOh videos, but since this was my King of Games video, I do want to get some feedback on how I can improve these kind of deck reviews and videos. At the very least, I want to know that you guys enjoyed it. Maybe red just means King of Games. I think red just means King of Games. Yep, that's all it means. All right, have yourselves a fantastic day, but above all else, keep it shady.